Okay, so another round of the greens. I'm gonna go grab some more from the freezers because I need to go clean out the freezers. Again, we're out in the garage. So what I am doing this morning is what I'm basically trying to do is, I know that we are going to be needing to do a bunch of stuff before I have this baby. I also have children doing different events that are going to take them away from the house, some for different periods of time. So I'm trying to get everything situated the best that I can. So I'm trying to clean out freezers the best that I can, so that we can put the pigs in hopefully the beginning of September. We need to do that before the baby comes, or we're hoping to do that before the baby comes, because we don't know how long we will be in the hospital after the baby comes. So what I have done this morning, I will share with you. This was the meal freezer. If you guys watched my freezer meal video, you probably saw that we made all these together. We've used quite a bit of them actually. So this stuff here is all meals. We have some extra milks that we got, and then some greens. So that stuff is staying there. Over in this freezer, mainly these are 2 huge stacks of the blueberries that we just put in there. We have some bananas in there. We have some vegetables over here. So we have broccoli and then like the mixed bags of vegetables. And some cauliflower. And then over here we have different greens from last year. And then different things. Like we have 1 turkey, some ribs, various things over here. Bananas, various things over here that don't really make sense. So far in this, here is a pig that we just put in, and then the chickens. So I am taking in 5 more chickens to make another batch of broth. So we will be making that broth, and we're also taking in, I'll just share it with you. These are all pork chops, and these are either pork chops or breast, these 2 right here. We're gonna make all of those into meals, and then we are going to take this. This is for the other batch of broth. So we're going to be making meals out of all the breasts and chops. And this bag of tomatoes is going to go in with the other tomatoes that we just picked. Then we're still working our way through with the greens, so those are going in the dehydrator. So I didn't video any of this, guys. I honestly was working on some freezer meals, but my daughter is pulling these out. She did these by herself, and it is beautiful. We just took pits from the peaches, and she made peachy nectar out of that. And we will be doing that again, so don't worry about missing the recipe, because the next time we do it, I will share the recipe with you guys. Alrighty, so this is the tomatoes. We are going to just dasher blender these up real quick to make some sauce. So it's Saturday. Yay, I've been doing Every Bit Counts challenge from Saturday to Saturday, so it is a new week, if you will. For our family and for canning and all this type of stuff, and I already got a bunch of stuff going on. So if you have not been here before, hello, I'm Mama Bear to Many. I am mom to 14 children. 12 of my children still live here at home, and sweet little baby is due in October. So I did a lot today. We ended up taking and cleaning out my freezers. I had enough energy this morning that I felt like I could do the freezers. I am trying to make some meals and stuff. You'll notice that I have another video coming out. I'm not sure if it'll be before or after this one, but it will be 3 easy freezer meals to put in your freezer. That meat came out today, and then I also have a bunch of roasts that I did not get a lot of footage on. I actually was in a stuck moment with my camera, so I only use my iPhone to do videos now. I used to have a camera and an iPhone, but I struggled a lot with my camera and editing and that type of stuff, and lost a lot of stuff, and it gave me a huge headache. So just have my iPhone for videos, and that's what I've been doing for the past year or so. So what I did was I took all the meat out. I do have some video footage of doing that. And then we chunked that up. So I'm going to show you that, where we're at this moment. We're also doing some pickles because some kids went out to the high tunnel and picked what was there. So let's see what is going on in my kitchen now. Okay, this is kind of funny. So it's Saturday, so now that means that all this stuff, I am actually, this is from last week, if you guys remember. So all of this stuff, I've already taken lids off and matched. Now I have to do these lids, pull them off, check the rings, and match those so that I'll make myself some more room. I think I'm actually going to be rearranging yet again because I found this table is not super sturdy, and I had lots of kids that kept like touching the table, and I didn't like how low it was. So we're going to change that around as soon as we get these downstairs. But for now, what we have is the meat. So freezer meals, those are going out to the freezer. Somebody's going to come and do that in just a minute. And I have these. So we took a bunch of roasts. I will share that with you, the roasts that we had. And then we have, let's see, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is beef. And then we have 7 of the pork. So we are going to can this in a pressure canner. So notice the meat is it's just chunked. I mean, it is huge chunks. They almost look like steaks, right? So we're gonna put them in like this, wipe the rims, no water at all. This is like raw packing it. Pack them in there, nothing in there at all except for just the meat. We're gonna wipe the rims now, and then we're gonna put the lids on top and get those into that canner. And we got these. So these are all the, yeah, I can talk. These are the dill pickles. This needs to get shoved in there more. So we are just going to take these, wipe the rims, and get these into a canner as well. So what do we have? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we have 20 of those. Yay. So we'll add that to our stash. Okay. I'm going to try to just leave you guys down here leaned up against some meat. And we are taking these canning jars with the meat in them and throwing them in here. I just have a couple inches of water in there, probably like 4 inches of water. And I'm just going to put these in. Now, there was a little too much water. It looks like it might go over the top, and I have one more jar to put in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this jar and take some water out. I can put that right into this pot here because my daughter was making jelly earlier, and there is stickiness in that pot. Those can all go downstairs. I checked all those lids.
Okay, so these, and then all the Edens kind of just small.
I might put Edens in a different spot.
That's why I sent it out.
Do you have a spot for it?
Yeah, it would be. So there's like all the sections, and like this is the only jar will fit in the top. It's like a nice top section.
Okay, that sounds good.
It's just a separated section, and it can't like fit like ton, but it can fit.
Sounds good. In case you wanted a belly in your face, this is what it looks like. All right, now I'm gonna get the lid on. Do you have a lid?
I have a lid.
So I'm looking for the arrow on the top, and then there's like a notch in the bottom. I'm just gonna match those up and slide it over, and then I just do opposites. So if I'm doing, you screw the 2 opposites at the same time. And then I'm going to turn it on. There we go. Now we got to wait for the steam to come up. So you guys are plugged in, and we are going to do some dill pickles. So I'm just going to wipe a handful of rings here, and then I will Let me turn that fan off. Although I'm going to turn the fan off, but you'll hear whistling and the kids are doing recorders outside. No, my daughter's going to turn it off for me.
Do you need big jars
Do I need big jars? Is that what you said?
for the sauce?
Yeah, please. So my daughter is so kindly going to, she's working on other things around me. We have, let's see, we have the pork in the pressure canner. She started some water for me to put these in. So that needs to be a hot water bath. So she is working on that. And I am going to just do these ones. And then she's also getting some sauce situated because we have sauce going in the roaster. Not too many. I'll probably say like maybe like 4, but 4 is better than 0. Every little bit counts. I know it's every little bit counts, but it looks like I'm doing big amounts. But for my family, for like a self-sufficient lifestyle, like these big amounts are really little bits. Yeah, that's all I can really say about that. I don't know how other people's children eat, but I have some big eaters. Big eaters. I noticed that a lot of times when people are saying how much they eat in larger households that, yeah, our family eats a lot more than a lot of people. And nobody's really overweight. So, yeah. I think it's just we burn a lot of energy, so we eat a lot more. Most of my children can out-eat me. Dill pickles are super easy because you're just popping the things together. But I think pretty much we eat bread and butters and then dill pickles. Those are our 2 like go-tos for trying to see if somebody is tending to my daughter who didn't have a nap. And that is a yes. She was with my older daughter and then I just heard her yelling and she still is. So I'm not too concerned about it because they were working on a project together. All right, there we go. What are your favorite kind of pickles? I like, yeah, it depends. I like dills normally. I actually like bread. I like bread and butter and I like dills. But that said, the dill pickles, I don't like pickles if they get like super mushy. I want them to be like crisp. So, yeah. Anyway. But as long as I keep my times okay and I don't over water bath them, then I don't seem to have an issue with super mushy pickles. Trying to think through. It is Saturday, and yes, we're doing all this on Saturday. I'm trying to think through different things. Sunday, we don't do anything. That's why I try to get everything canned up, if at all possible. There is sometimes that we just have to, and that's part of homestead life. But overall, we like to try to keep a day where we're not. So, yeah, that's Sunday for us. It could be Saturday for you. It could be Sunday for you. Whatever day you, I think there's a blessing in that. And our rest probably doesn't look like other people's rest. Like, we don't just sit around doing nothing. And some people, that's what they do. It's just how it is different for different families, right? And I don't think either is right or wrong. It's more making a dedication. I think that you should be making a dedication to the Lord like daily, through prayer, through Bible reading, through studying scripture, through listening to good sermons. Every season is going to look different. Like this time of year, it is great to be able to, like I'm doing what I'm doing right now, to listen to a good podcast or a good sermon while I'm doing this. Listen to the audio Bible, whatever it might be, whatever works for you and your family. You do you and your family. I'll do me and my family. And yeah, we can individually come together, just knowing that we're both trying to do the same thing, right? I don't know. That probably makes no sense. I'm hot and tired. I am hot and tired. Sweet Pea, I do not know what happened last night. She's on the new Omnipod, and which has so far been a blessing. But last night, right at supper, she was like super high at supper. She was like 360 or something when I checked her. Now at snack time, she was normal. She was under 200, but I don't know. I had changed her Dexcom that day, so we double checked to make sure that her Dexcom was working appropriately, which can be an issue the first day that you do it, sometimes even the first 2 days that you do it. So double checked all that. So she was at like 369, and so I gave her insulin for the meal, and then she had a little bit of extra insulin, which the Omnipod kind of does. She had a little bit of extra insulin for the highness that she was. And then all through Bible, we were doing Bible, and all through Bible, my phone kept going off because they're connected. My phone kept going off saying that she was high. And then I was like, okay, I already gave her insulin. We're good. Can't do anything about it anyway until a certain period of time has gone by and that type of stuff. So I'm thinking that she's high. So she goes upstairs. They were up playing in the room. And then she comes downstairs and she's like, I beeped. And I'm thinking, oh, she beeped because she was high. And I pick up her phone and she was crashing low with straight arrows down. I was like, oh my goodness. So we tried to just give her a little bit of juice. That didn't seem to be affecting it. So then we gave her some zucchini bread, and then we gave her some juice. And we were pricking her finger in between to make sure that all the levels were correct. And then, of course, she spiked again. So throughout the night, she was spiked. So every 2 hours, I was up trying to correct to get her to a safe space again. Yeah, long night. Anyway, part of diabetes. I'm gonna go see if this little girl needs a mama hug. So we got the 5 spaghetti sauces, 20 of the dill pickles, and then the meat, and then she has one more meat in there, and the broth is still on here. Okay guys, this is going to be our last bit of broth for a while. So I have these here, 7 there, 7 in the canner, and then this pot, that full. I will refill that pot, and then that will cook down for another 12 hours. These broths that I'm making right now are only 12-hour broths. So they've been in for 12 to 15 hours. And I'm making them, and then I'm going to put more water in there with a little bit of salt, and then those will go on for another 12 to 15, and then we will can that up as well. So that means that I will get 14 today, and then probably 21 to 27 tomorrow. I will not be home tomorrow. Some of my older children will work on that for me tomorrow. There is 5 whole carcasses in there, along with vegetables and that type of stuff in there. So there's plenty to be able to make this amount of broth that I'm trying to do. So I'm going to share with you too what my daughter is doing. Remember those peaches that we got the other day? Well, one daughter already made some peach pit jelly. I'll share that with you. And then we made a huge peach crisp. Yeah, that's how much is left. Okay, we ate it. And what she's doing right now is she has a whole gallon of yogurt here. So she is going to be doing 1 large scoop of the peaches in here. And then she's going to put 2 to probably 2.5 cups of, or roughly, of the yogurt into the thing. You can just dump it in here. I can just tell you where. It's going to be like right here. There you go. And she's going to mix that up, and that is going to be for pops. There's going to be no sweetener in there. The kids will love them. We're just going to do batches of those for pops, and then I'll see how much peaches we have left after that. So far, this is what we got done on Saturday. So just like this, and she'll put the lid on it and throw some popsicle sticks. Alrighty, so this morning, I'll show you what we are working on today. We have 2 more bags of potatoes that need to get peeled. We have 30 pounds of potatoes here that are already peeled. I have this pot of water. I am doing this so that I can sit down, rinse my potatoes, and then I will cut those and I will put them into the wide mouth canning jars here. She is working on peeling potatoes. Thank you. She is working on, we have 10 5-pound bags of carrots here. Some of them she already did, so she got the ends off and then she put them in water. Basically, they will just get, I want to keep the skins on because these are organic. I'm going to keep the skins on because there's more nutrition in there. So she is going to take those and chop those up, and then she'll put those into these jars here, or somebody will put them into these jars here. I'm not sure who is doing what. So here is also a bowl of tomatoes that we picked. We will be taking the tops off here and then throwing these in bags into the freezer. Okay, so these also need to get done there. There is radish seeds on the bottom and 2 things of garlic that need to get peeled. So what we're doing here is raw packing. I'm raw packing the tomatoes. I am just chopping them up after they are rinsed. So rinse, chop, and put in the jars, and then I will fill those with hot water. I have hot water on the stove right now, and she is doing the same thing with the carrots here, just chopping them up, and then we'll put hot water over the top. So I like to raw pack them because I found that if I blanched them first and put them in, that my vegetables are more mushy, because normally I am cooking them again afterwards. So just drop that one. I'm usually cooking them again afterwards, especially with like carrots and stuff. I'll dump those in a stew or whatever, or even if we're like warming them up for supper, I'm cooking them again, and I don't particularly like really mushy veggies. It does use more jar space, but in the end, for me, I'd much rather have a good tasting product. That's just what our family prefers. Everyone can do their own thing. You do your thing, we'll do our thing, and it will work out great. So most of my veggies I tend to raw pack. 1, it's easier. I can just line up a bunch of jars, pour a bunch of hot water on them, and go. And 2, and it's safer for like younger people not having to lift like the boiling water in and out with the vegetables in it. And 2, we just like the product better. It doesn't taste like mushy canned. It just tastes canned. I don't know how you would like differentiate the 2. I don't know how many jars we'll get. I'm guessing, let's see, how many do you think we'll get for potatoes? 50 pounds of potatoes. I would guess 22 jars. That's my guess. She said 30. I said 22. What do you say? Guess a number. She said 25. How many carrots? I'd say more carrots probably. I'd probably say 40 for carrots.
Yeah, that's what probably 40.
You think 42 for carrots? What do you think?
How many bags did you get?
They're 5-pound bags, and I got 10 of them.
I'm gonna guess about 50.
And she says 50. What do you think for carrots? Same number. She says 25. So these will be pressure canned. We will be doing them in batches of 7. I have 2 all-American pressure canners that can fit on the stove and fit the water on there. So we will have 2 going at a time. Once we get our first 7, we'll stop doing what we're doing right here, get them all ready to get into the thing so that can get started, because rotating them through can take a while. Did you help pick those?
We just put on the tamarind.
Is that yummy? Yes. I can't see you if you're on this side. Anyway, guys, we, my two daughters and the younger kids, they picked these ones. These ones are ripe off of the tree, and then these ones here will ripen up within a couple days. So they have those, and then there's some green ones that they left on the trees. Super exciting, super exciting. So we have a big wormwood plant, and my daughter just collected this for wormwood, and we'll just hang this up to dry like that. So did another batch in the dehydrator. She's putting that in there. So this is where we are at. She has a bunch of those. You can hear the canners going. We have 7 quarts of potatoes and 7 quarts of the carrots in the canner right now. That's what I have left of potatoes. She was doing carrots over there. There's my potatoes there. I have 7 quarts in the canner. She is working on tomatoes over there. She's just taking the tops off and we're going to throw them in the freezer. She is working on a program called IXL. And my daughter just walked in the door with some herbs. So this is mint, and then this is lemon mint, calendula, and holy basil. It smells good. And holy basil. So she's going to put those in the air dry dehydrator. If you have not seen on my store on Amazon, I do have that dryer on there, so you guys can check out the exact one that I have. I also have other canning supplies on there. I did put my soap supplies on there as well. I'm trying to, as we're going through the season, if I'm using something, I found Superb seals actually on there. Those are the ones that I've been using over the past little bit, and they actually are working really well. So I put those on there. So check out the store if there's anything that I'm using consistently that you notice. I probably have it on there, or I try to. If not, be sure to ask me in the comments. I'm happy to share what's working for our family, so just ask. Okay, I don't really show this because we just like automatically do it, but basically like she just put the new flowers that she got in there for the calendula, and then we'll take these out, and those will actually go into, we have jars of herbs on the stairs that are either for tea or for soaps, or for healing oils. A lot of times we do oils and let them come out. This is peppermint. I'm taking the dry peppermint out of here so we can fill that up. And this is the jars that are waiting. And here's more potatoes waiting. And more potatoes waiting. And she is getting ready to pull out the first 2 canners. And we are rattling like crazy. So my daughter started putting the carrots over here. We moved another dresser in here and putting the potatoes in here. You guys had asked for me to share like everything that we do in a week. So this is just this week's. So we needed more space. I'm hoping we'll have enough room for everything. We shall see, we shall see. The stuff up there actually needs to get canned. And these ones also need to get canned as well. But I am going to be going out to the gardens and getting some people to handle the things out in the gardens for tomorrow's harvest load, whatever you want to call it. So messy table with all this stuff going on. We have this table in here. I brought that in here for our, for our food haul. But I think that we might leave it in here so there's just more space with all the stuff that we're getting in. So we worked on canning that stuff that day. At the end of that day, we actually went outside and harvested what was in the gardens. So this next part is what we harvested in the gardens later that. Okay, we're back inside with all of our stuff all harvested. I'm gonna go over what we got at the table here, maybe a little bit of the plans that we're gonna do, and then I'll go over to the herb bin and then show you everything that we have for the herbs. So we got some cucumbers here, might do pickles, might just eat them, not quite sure. we got these Chinese noodle beans. So the fat ones that have the bean in it, we'll be saving those for seeds. We'll hang them dry. And then the skinnier ones like this, we will chop them up and like stir fry those. Those will be super yummy. We got 2 things of peaches here. So these ones right here are harder. We're not going to do those tomorrow, but we will be doing these tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with these yet. I'm playing around with the idea of making a huge thing of jam and then taking and making that jam into a peach barbecue sauce. Playing around with the idea. Stick around, you'll find out what we make with it. A couple of apples that were ready that are just going to go in our snack bin. Here are some onion tops. These are going to get chopped up and either frozen or in the dehydrator. Okay, so the onions, they are going to get chopped up and probably put in the fridge for the night and then in the dehydrator tomorrow, because the dehydrator is going on with greens. And then we have a lot of leeks. This huge laundry basket full of leeks, and then this of leeks. And this time, instead of making a leek powder, I am going to be chopping those up and canning those. So yes, that's exciting. We have all this celery here. A bunch of this celery I am going to be chopping up and canning some of that. Some of the leaves I may be taking and putting for dehydrated celery powder. These couple of squash, I have 3 of the yellow squash and 1 of the spaghetti squash. Those will just be for fresh eating. These carrots here will just be for fresh eating. The tomatoes probably will have, there's this and then this one here. Probably throw all those together, and then in 2 days those will end up going in the freezer. These potatoes we are just going to eat fresh. And then we have these peppers here. So if I make pickles, then I might use some of those. And then some of these I may chop up and throw in the freezer. So that is the beautiful abundance there of today's harvest. And then I will show you the okay, that's just a tidbit of rose hips. We need to wait a little bit longer for those ones, but she did get the this in here is all the red raspberry leaves dehydrating. This is the calendula. Here is some more red raspberry. Then this is the fireweed. No, this is not the fireweed. This is holy basil. Yes, that is holy basil. And then this is the fireweed up here. And then we have mint and lemon balm mint. Candy makes the house so hot. I'm going to share with you what we are doing right now. We just did Bible. It is, I think, like 7. Normally in the evenings we kind of just chill down, but sometimes like this type of season we just have to do what needs to get done. So I'll show you. So I am actually taking, these are all the leeks here. I am taking the ends like this and like trying to line them up the best that I can on my cutting board like this. And then I'm cutting these into chunks until about here. And so this part that's here is going in this bin. And then I'm having her just chop it a little bit more. And that's going in here. That is going to be for canning the leeks. So that is for the leeks. And then this here is the very tops. And those are going to be for dehydrating. I'm doing it that way because I have a lot of young children. And if there is a big hunk of leek that's like this big inside of soup, then they're going to eat around that leek. So what I am doing is I am making it a little bit smaller, and they will into a size that they will eat, but I don't want mush. So that's what she's doing. I'll share with you. Okay, so sweet daughter over here is taking the leaves off, and then she's putting the celery here. And then she is chopping the celery like this, and she's going to put it in the bowl. We'll cover it with cold water so we can can it tomorrow. And then she's putting all the leaves in here so that we can use them for stock, and or this will also get dehydrated. So this is our huge pile of beautiful celery. It has been a long canning day. Canners on these right here still need to be canned. So that is 2 more batches in the canner that need to get canned. So far, today, this is stuff we did the other day. Today, all these potatoes got done. Do you know how many potatoes it was? All right, 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 times 8, 32, 33, 34, 35. So 35 potatoes. And then these are the carrots so far. Altogether, we have 50 quarts of carrots. This morning, I am starting to can before I finish my coffee, which says a lot about how much needs to get done today. We are going to just take the bits of the celery, and I forgot my little funnel. I'm gonna go grab that and fill the jars with this, and then I'm gonna put boiling hot water on top. So this is what it looks like. It just has the celery and the water in there, and then we capped those. So we are just working our way through the jars here. You're figuring it out?
Me fixing it is broke off, so I am helping you.
You are. Just be careful because it has hot water, right? Want some help?
No.
No. Turn it the other way. There you go. Nice. That's right. A little more. Good job. Thank you. You're a great helper.
Get on that one.
That's the next one. So she is just rinsing off the cucumbers. We're going to make a batch of bread and butter pickles. On the stove here, we have 2 things of celery, and then that right there is making broth in the back. And we're working on chopping celery. So my daughter's taking these fat ones, and she is going to string these up just with a needle and thread here. And so the fat ones will get strung up, and then the other ones will get chopped up for lunch. So she is taking, these ones are the ones that are ripe. She is peeling those into this pot here, so the peels will go in there. And then here's the peeled peaches here. So she's chopping the celery, putting it in this water. I was filling these jars here. Yes, there is leaks all over the floor. And celery pieces we will clean up when we are done. We make a mess while we're working, and then we clean it up when we're done. She is working on peaches, peeling them just like her sister is doing in the other room. And then she is working on peeling garlic. This is the bowl of leeks that we had from last night, so I'm gonna start, we're waiting for some jars to come in. Somebody went to go grab jars, and I will start filling them with. So we have a bottom layer, and then we have an old thing from when we used to use the Presto canners. So we're using that in the middle, and then double stacking these celery here. This celery is on, and these celeries just came out. Beautiful. You don't push it down so much, okay? So she is doing these jars. These are all the leeks that we have crushed up here. And she's just putting those in there, and then I'm going to put broth in here. We are going to can them like you would greens, because they're like the leafy part of the leek, and I'm not mixing it in with like potato and leek soup or something like that. So these would be canned like I were to can kale. For me, it's 1 hour and 10 minutes, which is 70 minutes. It just depends on your area. So that pot has broth in it, no, has stock in it, so we are just filling these leeks with the stalk and canning them in that instead of canning them in water, just to add a little bit of nutrition in there. When I use leeks, it's almost always in a soup. We have two soups that we like. We have a potato and a leek soup. And then we also have a lentil and leek soup, and both of those the broth would do great with. So these are out of the dehydrator here. These are the leaves from the celery, and she is just grinding those up, and we'll put those in a big jar. So my sweet daughter here is cutting some jalapenos, and she's putting them in the bowl, and we are going to make some cowboy candy. You've seen us do this before. This is just my bread and butter pickles. We have done this on numerous occasions. So she is going to make 7 quarts of bread and butter pickles. Just made a really light syrup and put this on the 5 quarts of peaches that we ended up getting. And then we have the these two are still the leeks in there. We have in that pot there just the pits and the peels, and I'll show you what I do with that after. So my daughter just did these garlics for the freezer. So here's the big pot. This is just from the peels and the pits. And so this is kind of like a cloudier type of jelly, but it has like more pulp from, I leave the peels in there themselves. So this I took out into this here, enough to make, which is 4 cups to make the sugar-free jelly for sweet peas. So I have 4 cups of that, and then I'm going to do 24 tablespoons of monk fruit. Actually, I ended up putting 18 tablespoons in here, not 24. It was 18 to 24, and so I would rather do the less amount. So I'm going to put this on the stove until it comes to a roaring boil. These are the no sugar plain peach jelly. So in here I have what we call peachy nectar. So there is 20 cups of peach puree type stuff, and then I have half a cup of lemon juice. I had 18 cups of sugar, 3 tablespoons of ginger root, and 1.5 teaspoons each of nutmeg, cinnamon, cloves, and allspice. So she is putting this peachy nectar into the jars here. Just looks a little thin, but
it wasn't like running down at all.
okay, guys. Today we started this on Saturday, and I try to go Saturday to Saturday for you guys, but today is Wednesday. I'm going to share with you what we got from Saturday to Wednesday. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, so I am going to actually start next week's Every Bit Counts challenge on a Friday instead of a Saturday, and I will share with you why. Because I have no room. I have no room. So let's go over everything that we have canned this week. Alrighty, I'm gonna start over here and work my way around there, and then I'll go in and go there. Alrighty, so this right here is my leeks that I did in chicken broth. So there are 33 pints of leeks in chicken broth here. Next to this is the celery, and for celery we had 47 pints of celery. I'm super excited about that. I'm going to try to use these in soups and stews throughout the winter, and as well as making a quick cream of celery soup. Yeah, that'll be cool. This is just the 5 sauces that we got. We got, let's see, 20 pints of the dill pickles. We did a bunch of these last week as well. And then we got 4 pints of the, what is it? Peach jelly. 4 pints of the peach jelly. And then 2 small half pints. I did those because if I want to give somebody jelly, I'd like to do them in small jars like that. So here we have the meat. I already took, as you can see, I started to take the rings off of these. So I was bringing forward ones that didn't seal appropriately. So we can use those tomorrow. So there's 7 quarts of beef here and 16 quarts of pork. So these 2 did not seal, and those are gonna go into the fridge. Down here we have oodles. We have 35 quarts of potatoes. And then I'm gonna move over here. There's actually 50 altogether of the carrots, but some of them are on the other side. So here's the other side. Here's the rest of those carrots. And then we had 33 quarts of chicken broth. I'm actually looking on a list because I didn't remember all of them and I didn't want to count them in front of all you guys. So 33 quarts of chicken broth and then the rest of the carrots. And then over here, we have some peaches at the end. How many?
5.
So there's 5 peaches. 7 pickles. Is there? Oh yeah, I see them back there. Yeah, there's 2 back there.
Yeah.
So 7 pickles, and then I did some jams. Those are hot still. I did some of the jams, as you saw, for sweet pea. So there was 4 of those, and then the rest of these are peachy nectar, and there was
2 of them in the back are cowboy candy.
oh, okay.
So there's 13.
Okay, so there's 13 peachy nectars and then 2 cowboy candies in the back, which you can't see. So, sorry guys, a little smushy. So, that is about it. That is a wrap for the week. We're going to start bringing some of this stuff and putting it away so that we can make room for next week's haul. I hope you all have a blessed and wonderful day, and I hope your canning season is going wonderfully.